Meta programs from NLP are a fantastic conversational tool. The way these are normally taught is to elicit somebody's psychological meta program structure and then use your knowledge of that meta program structure to more easily seduce them or persuade them. This can work, but it takes an enormous amount of brain power, so I don't recommend it. Instead, use meta programs as an internal conversational structure that you can use to help guide the conversation to create a much more profound feeling, to create the feeling of having a profound conversation, which will significantly increase the chances of having a profound connection between you and your conversational partner. Now, what are meta programs? There's a ton of data hitting our senses every second, but our conscious mind can only interpret or understand or identify a small portion of all this data, and meta programs is one of the ways that our subconscious uses to filter all the data that is hitting us. And one of the more common meta programs is towards or away from. When you make a decision to do something, are you motivated towards getting something good, or are you motivated away from something bad? Now, most people are both in different contexts, and so there's not one rigid way that somebody is, so it's not a good idea to try to figure out what type someone is. It's just to use this as a conversational structure. So you kind of bring this up conversationally, and you bring this up conversationally around one of their past successes. This will increase the chances of this being a deep, profound conversation. So you bring it up kind of like this. Hey, I was watching this interesting video on YouTube by this psychologist, and he was saying that when we make decisions, there's really only two reasons that we make decisions. We either make decisions to get something good, or we make decisions to move away from something bad. And people tend to fall into one of the two categories most of the time. For myself, a lot of times when I'm making a decision that's not that big of a decision, I tend to move away from things that are bad. But when I make big life decisions, big decisions for my life that I want to move in a positive direction, I tend to go towards something good. What about you? When you had your last biggest success, when you made your most successful decision most recently, what kind of decision was that? Was that a decision to move towards something good, or was that a decision to move away from something bad? And just answering this question, just thinking about the answer to that question will create a kind of a deep, profound feeling, and it will also allow their ego to reframe however they made that decision to move towards something good. Because it's much better to feel, it's much better to say that we move towards good things than move away from bad things. And so this gives them an opportunity, one, to reflect on their past greatest decision, and to reframe that past decision in a very, very positive light, which will give them a very, very good feeling. And if you draw this out as long as possible by talking about your experiences, by eliciting their experiences, this will create that feeling of a very profound conversation, a very profound connection, centered around their past decisions that were good and centered around a reframing of their past experiences to make their ego feel good. Other popular meta programs are when you make a decision that you've done a good job. When you do a good job, how do you know you've done a good job? Is it because something external comes in and tells you you've done a good job? Or is it because of an internal judgment you give yourself that you've done a good job? Now, the preferred way to feel is an internal perception. Nobody likes to say that they go through life only knowing they've done a good job because other people tell them. So they'll want to kind of reframe their experiences. And again, you ask them by asking about their past great successes, their past successes. So you can bring this up the same way. I was watching this YouTube video, and he was talking about how people make decisions and they know they've made good decisions. Some people, they can't really tell if they made a good decision until somebody tells them. But other people, they know they've made a good decision based on some kind of internal judgment they have of themselves. For example, sometimes when I do things that aren't that important to me, I let other people decide whether it's a good job or not. But when I'm doing something that's really, really important, when I'm working on a project that's really important for my future, I don't stop until I know I've done a good job, regardless of what other people are telling me. And sometimes I'm doing something towards something that I decided is important for my life, and other people are telling me I've done a good job, but that's not good enough. I need to keep going until I know I've done a good job. What about you? The last really good decision you made, the last really big success you had, how did you know you were successful? Was that from an internal thing you've told yourself, or was it from other people telling you? And then have a conversation about your past successes and how you judge yourself as being successful or not. Again, this will create a very, very deep, profound connection. It will create the experience of having a deep, profound conversation, and this will help you talk about your experiences, your successes, and it will lead to a very, very powerful, profound connection. Other popular meta programs are when you go into a situation, do you sort for familiar things or do you sort for unfamiliar things? And these are the three kind of big meta programs that you can remember to have these deep conversations. So again, meta programs are a fantastic tool, but only if you use them to have these deep, profound, organically evolving conversations. And so try this out with your friends, try this out with people you've just met, and see how you can create these deep connections. See how easy it is to create profound conversations that people don't really have these days. Because most people today, if they do have face-to-face conversations, they're usually very, very superficial. So this can create a very, very profound feeling, a very, very profound connection, and you will definitely stand out in their mind as a profound thinker, an advanced, evolved thinker. So try it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you'd like to learn more, please check out the links below. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.